Hey everyone, today's lesson is going to be over the role of microorganisms in ecosystems. And so our learning objective is we are going to summarize the role of microorganisms in both maintaining and disrupting the health of ecosystems. So it's important that we recognize that microorganisms can both help and disrupt the health of ecosystems. It's not just one or the other, and we're going to look at a few examples of each. So first, we're going to look at how they maintain the health of ecosystems. So we're going to start with decomposers. So decomposers are just some sort of microorganism, which is generally bacteria that aids in decomposing organic matter. So organic matter is just anything that's made up of carbon. So this can be broken down to recycle the nutrients and elements into the ecosystem. As things die, and there are things there, that carbon that is within those living things can be broken down so that way they can be taken back up by plants or other organisms within some sort of ecosystem. So, like I said, it is all basically dealing with carbon. That's our main thing that we're going to look at because carbon makes up every living organism. Without carbon, then we don't have the biomolecules and things or molecules necessary for life. We also know that bacteria can also fix nitrogen. So, what I mean by fix nitrogen is that they can change the chemical composition in order to be able to be used by the plants. So, atmospheric nitrogen is not in a compound that can be taken up by plants. So, these bacteria change the nitrogen into a different compound in order for the plant to actually be able to use. And the way that this happens is through the soil. So these bacteria change the chemical composition in order for the plants to use. So this nitrogen that is in the air over here, it's not taken in by the leaves. It has to come in through the roots. So bacteria in the soil change that nitrogen into something that can actually be taken up by the root hairs over here. And then once it's taken up by the root hairs, it can then be distributed to the rest of the plant. So there's also ways that microorganisms can disrupt the health of ecosystems. So one of the main ways that we can do this is bacteria can produce toxins in the water system. And this is just due to the metabolic processes that happen within that specific organism. So an example is algae blooms. So an algae bloom is what happens is algae can multiply in number and create toxins that disrupt other organisms or kill them off or kill off large numbers of those organisms. So algae are just a specific type of microorganism, and if their numbers become too high, they can create toxins. So you can see how this water here is actually green as compared to what we know the color of water normally is. So it has released all of these toxins that not only changes the color of the water, but is very harmful for fish and other aquatic sea life, and that can actually cause all of these organisms to die off in mass numbers, which is going to disrupt the entire ecosystem altogether. So that's all that I have for this lesson. So go explore further.